Oh, take a picture. It's time for Wrestle AM. That's right. Grab your seats, pull up a chair, and get you a nice piece of cake. It's time for Wrestle AM, courtesy of Kocosports.com. Of course, you got yours truly here, the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, boom, boom, here shaking a room live from beautiful Omaha, Nebraska. And, of course, joining me live is not some homeless train hobo. It's my co-host, Dave Kocotis. Dave, how the hell are you?
I'm doing okay, just fighting a good fight. So today was a bit rough, but you know what? We got to watch Monday Night Raw. I get to do a review with you and the infantry, so we can look past. Thanks to denial, I'm gonna live forever. It's my favorite fucking line ever from Futurama.
Yep.
All right.
I could picture a big sign behind you. I plan on living forever. So far, so good.
Exactly. Anyway, let's talk Monday Night Raw. Win, loss, or tie. I have a funny feeling that the main event saved this for a lot of people.
Yeah, it did.
I think the main event saved this for a lot of people. But what do you think, Booms? You go first. Win, loss, or tie.
The third hour was kind of brutal. I was mentally checking out at that point. I mean, I was tired, but I was like, well, I guess I got to do this. So I was like, decided to check on a few things. And I kind of halfway paid attention during the third hour. And then finally that main event got me to stop what I was doing and watch, which is a good sign, WWE. You need to do more of that shit. I thought about giving it a strong tie, but now I think I'm just going to give it a weak win. It did just enough that they were down by 2. They kicked a 50-yard field goal, and that ball went just over the crossbar. Boom, got the win. So there you go. So I'm going to give it a weak win. WWE just pulled a 50-yard field goal out of nowhere to get the win. So there you go. I want to know what the Internet Infantry thinks. Please put it down there in the comments. Win, loss, or tie. I'll be handling the comments and questions, so be sure to get them in. Now, Dave Kocotis, real quick, as you tell us what you thought, win, loss, or tie, I want you to take two. I want you to answer this question for me. Did this feel like a rerun of SummerSlam? Because there was a lot of rematches, a lot of rehashing and stuff that took place the night before. Did it feel like that to you, or do you feel like they used SummerSlam and WWE, that is, to kind of move everything forward, storylines, feuds? Do you think this Monday Night Raw really accomplished that mission, or is it just a complete rehash from last night?
I think it's half and half. I mean, Rusev, they started new storylines, so some of the stuff started fresh, some of the stuff they added new, but mostly it was rehashed. I think it was a little bit of half and half. And as far as win, loss, or tie, I'm going to give it a weak win, but I'm going to describe it like this. It's like you're an NFL franchise, and you're going in, and you're like 8-0, and you're taking someone who's like 1-6, and it's a close fucking game. Like, this should have been a home run after home run after home run. This is one of those games, it reminded me of the Dream Team. Remember the Dream Team? Well,
oh yeah,
not the original Dream Team, because they were awesome. But like when the Dream Team started becoming more humanized and the European teams got a lot better, I remember one time Vince Carter threw up this ugly-ass shot and won last second. And he's like, we had everything under control. No, you didn't. That's what this reminded me of. This should have been a slam dunk win. Everyone's happy, and you just kept the shittiness in the game long enough to be like, oh, we barely won. I'm sure WWE fanboys and WWE defenders will be like, it was fucking great. Everything was wonderful. Yay! But the reality was, you should have fucking hit a ton of home runs. And you did not. And I'm pretty sure if it wasn't for that last match, we would be a lot more fucking bitter into this show. That's just my humble opinion. I think a lot of people that way. What's that?
I said you would be bitter anyway, but that's a different story. Let's see. Let's kind of zip through this and break it down here real quick as the comments start to pile in. I want to give a shout out to Forsaken, who's watching us live. Also want to give a shout out to the Flying Hippo. Damn, I love these names now. For watching us live, thanks for tuning in. Let's go ahead. They started out this match. What did they start out with? The new champion, Brock Lesnar. They started out with, The Miz, the new Intercontinental Champion. Paige, the new Women's Champion. Are they talking about, Who's going to challenge Brock Lesnar next? No, they started out with Stephanie McMahon. And this guys, this is fucking cringeworthy. I'm glad they dropped like the whole physical therapist affair storyline, because so many people, like, we all bitched about it and we said it was stupid. Even Daniel Bryan sitting at home was like, yeah, this is stupid. So thank God they dropped that. But she came out. Go ahead.
I'm one to be a little romantic. I'm one to overreact. It's just my nature as a human being. I honestly believe this, and deep down in my heart, and maybe I'll get into more details. Stephanie McMahon's feud is what's wrong with the world. It's not what's wrong with wrestling. It's what's wrong with the world. There's something that we worship the elite. We defend the elite. We root for the elite. What's wrong with the world today is the Stephanie McMahon feud. The fact that people go up there and be like, oh, it's great, it's this, it's that. You wouldn't say that if it was Eva Marie. There is something wrong mentally with this generation where we just worship the elite. That's why, like, you'll go on Facebook and you'll see a cop, and, not all cops are bad, because, the good ones don't arrest the bad ones, so are they really good? But you'll see this thing on Facebook where a cop will literally come in, beat the hell out of 97 old people, blow up the building, laugh, kill a puppy, laugh, then fucking, I don't know, rape a mailbox. And then people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. And then we see in the comments, not all cops are bad. We don't know the full situation. Maybe those 97 old people deserve to be dead. Maybe blowing up the building and raping the mailbox was all part of their duty. There is something mentally wrong where we worship the elite. If this wasn't Stephanie McMahon, we wouldn't be, or not me, fuck her, but we wouldn't be like, oh, that was a great match. This is a great feud. No. We live in a society where if Hunger Games 2 happened, we'd be like, hell yeah, white stormtrooper motherfuckers. I know I pissed off a lot of nerds with that last statement, but follow me on it. They would just fucking root for it. Today's society roots for fucking Darth Vader. There is something mentally wrong that we fucking have to defend. The human race has to defend the elite. Stephanie McMahon is not what's wrong with wrestling. It is what's wrong with the world. You thought I wasn't going to go over the top right away, but you know what? It's been bugging the fucking living shit out of me. Go ahead, Booms. Follow that.
That just kind of veered off. It's just like we went from, okay, I really didn't like Stephanie McMahon coming out in the opening segment to open up Raw to fuck the cops, fuck the elite, fuck the politicians.
That's not fair. I didn't say fuck the cops. I just used them as an example. The elite.
I'm just like, wow. Dave, I swear to you, we can make a fortune if we can get like makers of Ritalin to like sponsor us.
I fucking despise it, because if it wasn't her, this would be the shittiest fucking feud. It would be the shittiest fucking match. But since somewhere along the line, it became, oh, let's worship the elite. This wouldn't have happened during the Attitude Era. This would have got booed out of the fucking building. What happened to the human race that Stephanie McMahon is all of a sudden a star and, wow, she's a great wrestler? Maybe I'm a negative motherfucker, I got it. But I just want to know when that became good wrestling. Because let me tell you, you put any other female in there, this gets shit on by everybody. So I question you, why do you worship the elite on every fucking level? That's my question for those that are like, oh, Stephanie McMahon, this is a great fucking match. Really? That's a great fucking match? I don't know what fucking pro wrestling is anymore. I mean, fucking Vince McMahon can come out, fucking whip out his cock, and be like, hey, audience, suck it. And people are like, this is fucking great, $9.99, here you go. Fucking unbelievable.
Well,
let me get back to reality.
Back on track.
Let me get back to reality. I did not enjoy the opening segment.
Oh, well, thank you, Dave. You could have just said that to begin with, and we would have saved about 5 minutes of everybody's lives that they'll never get back.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta fucking do outrageous rants. You gotta speak from the heart, even when you're wrong.
Sometimes.
So what did you think, Mr. Level-Headed? What did you think of this opening segment? Did you think it was?
I did not like its placement on the show. I don't think it was a great way to start off. Nikki's kind of reason for turning heel was lame. In fact, when I saw the opening segment, my girlfriend's like sitting there next to me, and I'm just like rolling my fucking eyes, like, you got to be kidding me. And then Brie comes out doing her, best acting job, sarcasm, and then Nikki winds up slapping her. And you know what? This apparently was supposed to be powerful because they showed us this fucking replay 3 goddamn times throughout the whole fucking evening. So apparently, according to WWE, to the WWE universe, or at least we were led to believe this is supposed to be this major milestone. Nikki slapping her own sister, her twin sister. I mean, God, dude, this is fucking hokey. Even like Young and the Restless wouldn't be this fucking stupid. But anyway,
I don't think the Young and the Restless is ever this bad. Granted, I have not watched Young and the Restless as much as Monday Night Raw, but I'm guaranteed I'm going to go YouTube. I'm going to YouTube a random episode of Young and the Restless tonight. I guarantee it's not as bad as this. That's tonight's homework assignment. Internet inventory. You might go to other podcasters and they're not going to give you homework. We're giving you homework. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Watch about 10 minutes of any what's the show called? Days of Our Lives. Which one?
Works. So Young and the Restless. Days of Our Lives works too.
Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, whatever soap opera. Turn it on for a homework assignment. Random episode. Just go. Soap opera, Days of Our Lives, full episode. Bam. They'll be like, oh, that's there. Fucking YouTube will bust our goddamn balls, but General Hospital will have fucking full episodes up. Go watch a full. That's too much. Watch 10 minutes of these old cheesy soap operas, and I guarantee it won't be as bad as this.
All right. Well, we got to get. Well, Dave, this is Wrestle AM, so we need to start talking wrestling. And we had the first match of the night. We saw the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, take on the rumored tag team, which I heard was supposed to debut or do something last night, but it didn't happen. But it happened tonight. The tandem here of Mark Henry and Big Show. Now, I didn't know how WWE was really going to handle this, but this was a big man match. It's pretty weird when Luke Harper is like the small one in the ring. You know something's up there when Luke is the smallest one. What can I say? It was pretty good. There was a lot of agility, especially for all these big guys. It was great to see Mark Henry back. Yeah, believe it or not, it was actually good to see Big Show back. They're finally doing something with both of them, so they put them together as a tag team. Why not the world's largest tag team? They did something that kind of derailed that theory a little bit later on the show, which I'll get to. But for what it was, I think it was a solid opening match. The focus was on everybody. It wasn't just on one person. And I will say this, Rowan and Harper held their own. I thought they were just going to straight up just job out. Yes, they did lose, but they didn't come off as like a bunch of schmucks. I mean, I thought, okay, this is not even going to go 5 minutes, and it's going to end with a knockout punch. No, it went well over 10 minutes. So, like I said, great way to open the show. Dave, are you interested in seeing Mark Henry and Big Show as a tag team? And where do you think this loss puts Eric Rowan and Luke Harper?
I'm not really sure. I'm sure they can bounce back. This match was actually on SmackDown, but a lot of people don't watch SmackDown. And on SmackDown, it was. I thought the SmackDown version of this match was a lot better. But I do enjoy it. It's not. It's weird. It's weird because big man wrestling, this style of wrestling, is not my style of wrestling. It's not like, oh, I enjoy this style of wrestling. Matter of fact, this is probably pretty low on the list of styles of wrestling I like. But for some reason, these four men do a style I don't like. Very entertaining. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't like this. It's kind of like when you get cheesecake. You're like, I don't like cheesecake, but this fucking cheesecake is good. It's kind of like, oh, you're a southerner, boo-boo. It's like grits. You're like, I don't like grits, but this grits is good. Everyone has a secret ingredient to grits.
It's actually funny you should mention that. They're like, I don't like fruitcake, but they had this hospital that had like this little bake sale. They're doing this fundraiser to raise money, and so they were selling fruitcake, and I'm like, nasty. And then, but they brought like some of this fruitcake back to the station, and I like took cut me a piece. I was like, okay, I guess I'll eat some just to be polite. And I took a bite, and I was like, this is the best fruitcake ever.
So we'll call this the fruitcake match. Boom's fruitcake match. I thought it was going to suck, but I was impressed. I thought the SmackDown one was a lot better, but recently, now listen, if you only watch Raw, because we just by our numbers and ratings and all that, more people watch Raw. Dude, SmackDown's been pretty goddamn good the last couple months. SmackDown has actually probably been better than Raw. But, yeah, I guess we'll call it the fruitcake match. It's not our style, but we still enjoyed it.
All right. Well, overall, pretty good here. Let's see. We're going to kind of zip forward here. This was actually funny as hell. Seth Rollins was doing a backstage segment interview with Renee Young. Was gloating about beating Dean Ambrose, and then over last night, and then out of nowhere, Dean Ambrose steps in, dumps a bucket of ice water on him, and then when he turns around, and then when he turned around, the camera pulled back, and Ambrose was like, "What? It's for charity." Then hits him with a bucket, and boom, they just start getting to a backstage brawl, which I thought was just fucking hilarious, especially with the whole ALS Ice Bucket Challenge going on. They kind of tied that in there, and I thought that was a nice touch. And it led to a nice segment with Seth Rollins barging into the Authorities' dressing room, basically saying he's going to have to take out Ambrose, otherwise he's not going to be able to be free of him.
Yeah, I thought this was probably my favorite line. It made me pop. It's for charity. I don't know why. It hit my funny bone so freaking bad. I was like, it's for charity. I get it. And then the bucket to the head. I don't know, something, I love pro wrestling when you're like, was that real? Oh my God, that had to hurt. I don't know. It just looked like it hurt. They were just like, oh, there's a bucket to the head. But yeah, I thought this was probably one of the best segments for a while. And it seemed like Seth Rollins and Ambrose has been carrying the WWE as far as making it watchable. Booms, are you there? I guess not. Anyway, let's go to some live comments. I don't know what happened to Booms. Boom. Oh, no. I hope he's okay. This is from Facebook. Jason Rex Margaret says, okay, Dave, mine and Jules' vote is a win. A huge effing win with the last match. Goddamn pay-per-view. Word in the mouth. Why wasn't the main event last night? Almost brought a tear to my eye. Remind me of the glory days. So Jason Rex really enjoyed the main event, gave it a win. And let's see. Boop. Let's go to some live comments while we try to find Boom Boom. He's like Waldo. Who knows where the hell he went? Boom, boom. Maybe he's going to get some of that fruitcake. Oh. Are you back, Booms? No, he's gone. I hope Boom Booms didn't die. All we see is this. This is all I see. Booms, where did you go? No! That's all I see is the back of his computer. Oh, there he is. Booms.
Sorry.
Oh, I see. You sent something in chat. I was like in the middle of a sentence. I'm like, I'm done. I'm going to go to live comments. And you were just, okay. Let's go to live comments anyway. That's your punishment. That's your punishment for leaving me all alone on this island. Forsaken says, win tonight. After over a month of missing Raws, I got to watch live as I went to my second day job early. Brandon and I tried the infantry chat. No one really showed. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I didn't get it. I got an old internet infantry chat. We'll have to do it. Flying Hippo. I'd like to give it a weak mid-tie since I didn't care for much of the show, and Kane ruined a bit of the main event. That's a good point, Flying Hippo. Mr. the King says, I'm going to give it a win. Greg Bogan, I hope I said that right, give Raw a loss overall, but I did enjoy the Heyman promo. We'll get to that. All right, Booms, you're back. We'll get to more live comments. Don't worry, Andy Paps, we're getting to yours, and Mr. the King, we'll try to get to more of your comments. All right, Booms, we're back on track. Ready to rock.
All right, we're back on track. We're going to pick it up with some Divas action here. We had the newly crowned Divas champion, Paige, in a match against Natalya. Now, she said that she loves AJ. She's going to dedicate her match to her. And then just as the match started, AJ came out, skipped around. This allowed Natalya to get a schoolgirl on Paige. And she got the 1, 2, 3, and then AJ apparently trying to out crazy her, said she's going to dedicate her life to Paige, and that ended the segment. I'm not a fan of this because I want it to move. I want it to move on, move further, do a different, put a new challenger in front of Paige, have AJ have to work her way back up. I don't like it that they're just doing the exact same thing. I mean, are they going to play hot potato with the Divas titles? Is that where they're going with this? And also, I think I'm going to make a decree. I think I should make a decree from here on out, no Divas match is allowed to end for at least the next 5 years with a schoolgirl. No. I'm tired of seeing it in Divas matches. Yeah, it's cheap, it's easy, but come on, creative, you got to be better than that. And the whole, I'm going to try to out-crazy you, that's fucking bullshit. It just pisses me off, and I want to see something different. I want to see more from these two. If these two are going to have a match, let them have a match. Let it build up to something else. But I was really not into the whole. I wanted to see more. I wanted to see Paige wrestle as the heel champion now. How her style's changed up. I wanted to see AJ, just staring at her down. Instead, they just kind of picked up where they left off. So, Dave, are you excited to see the continuation of this Divas feud? I mean, where are you at? Where are you at with this?
Sir, let me give you a little bit of history lesson. I used to be a history teacher back in the day before health got the best of me, so I'm going to give a little history class. The year is 1940. The New York Rangers win a Stanley Cup where it takes them a while. The 1940 chant starts, and that is the first time Paige interrupts AJ Lee by skipping around the ring. The year is 1996. A young boy from New Jersey decides to join the Marine Corps because he doesn't want to be white trash his whole life. That is when AJ Lee runs around the ring. The year is 2014. We fucking seen it. How many? No. No matter how much it's a good idea, hey, we've seen it. We've seen this fucking over and over and over and over again. Well, let me guess. One's going to come out and skip, then they're not going to pay attention to their opponent, and then they're going to roll it up. No. Stop. Was it good back in 1940? I assure you it was. Was it good in 1996? I assure you, not so much. Is it good now in the year 2020? No. No, it is not. Stop. Stop doing the same shit over and over and over again, okay? Now, my whole thing is when you're a stand-up comedian and you have a certain set and you travel from city to city, hey, maybe you can tell the same fucking jokes. If you are an indie wrestler like AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels rocked the East Coast back in the day in the 90s, could you do the same match and feud over and over and over? Yes, because back then there wasn't internet, and you'd be like, wow, that was the greatest match I've ever seen. So you could do that match over and over and over in city. You're on national goddamn television. No, fuck that. Worldwide television. Millions of people watch your show. Fucking do not send those bitches out skipping again where they fucking lead to a roll-up. No. Bad WWE. Was this a good idea 27 years ago? Yes, it was. Give yourself a goddamn Barry Horowitz and move on. No. Spoiler! Do you know what's going to happen in the next 76 fucking years on Raw? I'll tell you. One of them's going to be in the ring. The other one's going to skip. One in the ring's going to lose. Bam! There you go. I just fucking spoiled the next 97 years of Diva storylines for WWE.
There you go. I mean, see, right now, we've just spoiled Raw for you for the next 100 years.
97. At the 98th year, Triple H will finally take over. That's when NXT will finally invade. John Cena will still be champion.
Okay. Next, well, speaking of champion, we got a coronation here. The coronation of Brock Lesnar. The Authority displayed the new WWE World Heavyweight title, and I gotta say, Dave, it's looking pretty slick. It really is. I hate the other belt didn't get as much time as the fucking god-awful spinner. But, no, this one is actually looking pretty good. Nice leather, a lot of diamonds in there, a lot of gold. It looked absolutely just beautiful. for lack of a better term. And then Heyman, I mean, he went off. I mean, he had like this long promo, but he kept everybody right here. He tried to put over John Cena, tried to build him up, and I'm thinking, yep, maybe they're gonna, they need to get that Cena kid over. Maybe we can get Heyman to do it. If Heyman can't do it, nobody can get this kid over. But then he talked about the eat, sleep, conquer, repeat, eat, sleep, suplex, repeat, suplex, repeat, suplex, repeat, eat, sleep, F5, and just it just kept going and talked about how Cena wouldn't give up, and he just got decimated by Lesnar and just absolutely destroyed at the Conqueror, and he never gave up. And he kept going and going, and he just got more momentum as he kept going. And it was long, but it didn't feel that long. And I think that's a sign of a great promo. Dave, do you think that Heyman hit all the high notes, and are you interested to see how WWE treats Lesnar as the champion, although he is part-time?
Well, I got a lot to say. One, the belt looks pretty sweet, but it looks exactly the same. Let's be honest. It's just the new logo, which is cool. But the thing is, when they revealed it, no one gave a shit. If you're gonna pipe in crowd music, crowd noise, that's it. Like someone in the back pipe in some crowd noise. No one gave a shit about it. I thought Brock Lesnar and all four of them posing. The fact that they took a while, I thought that was cool. And I love Paul Heyman. I love Paul Heyman more than a straight man should. Even like when I go to writing, when I write, people always ask me like, "Oh, who are your influences?" I'm like Stephen King, Stan Lee, whatever, and I always put Paul Heyman on the list. And people are like, "Who's that?" Especially in the writing world. And I'm like, no, I think he's one of the best storytellers of all time. One of the greatest wrestling promoters, promos. I love Paul Heyman more than a straight man should, and that's a shoot. I did not enjoy this promo in the beginning.
You didn't. Well, you didn't enjoy it. Was it because they were showing the network? They were trying to put over John Cena.
A little bit of both. The network thing doesn't bother me. I do find it interesting. It does bother a lot of people online, and I want to find out. If someone who's smarter than me, or if you can find a story online, I want to know if the network is improving with the hard sell, because I'm someone that teaches class on how to sell stuff and the hard sell and marketing and all that. I'm really intrigued by that stuff. So I want to know with WWE, it's pissing off a lot of its fan base, but is the hard sell working? I want to know. I want to know if it improved the network sell.
The hard sell is more so for the international crowd now, because it's now available in over 100 countries. It's about to be available over in the UK. And I think they're doing that because now they've still got the U.S. market locked for at least a couple more months until the first round of subscriptions run out. Now they're trying to get these other countries right now. They're trying to get Canada, Mexico, all these other countries, all these people there committed, and get them locked into a 6-month commitment. So I think that's why they're going for the hard sell. And I think if they can get more people subscribing, it looks good for the company, it looks good for their stockholders, and it also looks good for the people whose first round of commitments are running out, because it's like, well, all these people join, they're really loving it, maybe, because people like to join bandwagons. They like to be part of things that are good and popular. And maybe that's, part of the strategy there, but of course I could be completely wrong.
Yeah,
Not likely.
I'm very interested to see if the hard sell works, because in some industries the hard sell doesn't work. Like in the fitness industry, they found out statistically the hard sell doesn't work, but the hard sell does work for like nightclubs. So I find it to be interesting, and it depends on the country, and depends on the market and stuff. But I'm getting too nerdy now. But I'm very interested as a nerd of marketing. Is the hard sell improving it? And as far as Mexico goes. AAA had Triple Mania, and I don't know if they're gonna have a good time in Mexico. Albert Del Rio really threw under the bus for being a bunch of racist assholes. And as far as the Paul Heyman promo, I thought it was good, but at the same time, John Cena's been there for 15, 16 fucking years. He was booed out of Los Angeles. And I honestly believe if you're not a little kid who falls for marketing, because he's a marketing tool, if you're above the age of 16, because marketing tools I believe work. Like you could tell, and I know this is gonna sound horrible, and if you're under 16, I'm sorry, but your demographic has shown this. If you market anything to a 16-year-old, they'll buy it. It's just fucking, it's the easiest fucking market in the world to fucking conquer. But if you're under 16, I wonder if over 16, everyone over 16, I don't think there is John Cena fans. I don't really like the mean people on the internet, and I feel sorry for them, John Cena fans. Because at the end of the day, you always say, well, is he entertaining? And you get, well, he's not as bad as, It sounds like he's a goddamn politician. Where if you go to a Kenta fan, is he good? He's fucking amazing! You don't hear that from a 16-plus. You hear, well, you see, he doesn't deserve the hate that he gets, and he's not as bad as, And it's like, dude, no, you don't fucking really enjoy him. You hate us. You hate fucking passionate fans. And it's okay if you hate passionate fans. But don't have to fucking like Cena to hate us. Just be like, oh, I hate passionate fans. Call us the WC, the internet, Marks, whatever. But just because you hate us doesn't mean that you like John Cena. Because if you look if that person in the eye and say, well, is he entertaining? Is he a good wrestler? You see, what happened was, and he's not as bad, he's better than, Go to someone, do you like CM Punk? He's fucking awesome! Kenta, he's fucking awesome! Go ahead, Booms, ask me if I like Okada. I'm a fan of Okada. Go ahead, ask me. Ask me if I like him.
But by some chance, do you like the professional wrestler Kazuchika Okada?
He's the greatest goddamn fucking wrestler now. He is the best wrestler in the world right now. Now ask me the same question and I'll be a John Cena fan. Go ahead, ask me about Okada again, but I'll be a John Cena fan.
Dave, how do you feel about Okada?
Well, I don't like how the internet talks bad about him. He doesn't deserve the heat that he has. He's better than Hogan, allegedly. I mean, I don't think people deserve to hate him as much as they do. One sounds pretty fucking weak, like you feel bad for him, like he's a beaten puppy, and one sounds like you're a passionate fan. But yeah, I just think that it's just like, how much are you going to give this guy? How much are you going to give this guy? I wish it was somebody else he talked about. I wish they would just went. And the thing is, John Cena, no one fucking hated Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman until they had to put John Cena over. And they're like, oh, and even then they didn't hate Brock Lesnar. They hated the situation. Like, oh, fuck, it's going to rematch 16. And that's it. Because the thing is, I go on Facebook, I go on Twitter, and I see all these people that defend John Cena. When you look him eye to eye and say, is he a good wrestler? Is he entertaining? They say no. And then on top of that is, I think, like OTCRS, he doesn't fucking like John Cena. He hates us, the passionate fan. Who else is another positive one? Who's that new cat with the long hair that used to work WWE Creative? Straight Shooting. Straight Shooting doesn't like John Cena. He just believes in propaganda for WWE and hates us. If you say, oh, I hate the internet fan, then hey, dude, fucking hey, more power to you. But hating us doesn't mean you like John Cena. That's it. And the funny thing is, you'll get these people, like we get WWE and TNA talking, you message us on other shows. He's like, WWE is good, but he doesn't back it up. He doesn't say anything. Like, that's it. That's your fucking opinion. All right, John Cena's good, guys. You shouldn't pick on him. No. Ask me about Okada. Fucking amazing at the G1. Great matches. Young. Fucking talented. Don't look at these matches. John Cena. I don't think there is John Cena.
And I'll say this about us here on Wrestle AM. Yeah, we're not John Cena fans, but we're not like the hate that you get on the rest of the internet. I mean, at least Dave and I can logically lay out why we don't like John Cena. I mean, it's just like, oh, he sucks. No, we don't think he has a very good character. He's always portrayed as Superman. He has no human characteristics. He constantly has to go through the same shtick of pretending to be hurt and have to overcome it. He constantly plays up to the crowd. They keep piping in crowd music for him, which obviously shows he's not over with the WWE universe. Yes, we do respect the fact that he does a lot of charity work. We can't admire him for that, and he does stay out of trouble. But We're just not fans of how he works matches. We're not fans of how he's been promoted over the past 10 years. And we give you this whole laundry list of reasons, A, B, C, D, why we don't. And I think a lot of people kind of mix us up with that. Is they mix us up with the whole Cena sucks, crowd, where they just, have this just unbridled hatred towards John Cena. They would love to see him die in a car crash tonight, if possible. But
Well,
we're not like that here.
yeah. I mean, I don't wish ill will on the guy. I just wish him success at something else. I really do. Like, become the next Rock and next Batista, I would love that. As far as Cena, the problem that I have with Cena right now in the Los Angeles crowd booing him is I don't think Cena can be saved. Like, people make him a heel turn, make him weak, do this. I think it's too late. I honestly think John Cena can't be saved because when he joined NXT, fans cared about him. When he was on that ramp and lost against The Rock, fans cared about him. Brock Lesnar beat the fuck out of him and danced. We have to throw in the dancing. There's a lot of dancing, Brock. Beat the fuck out of him and danced, and no one cared about him. The only people that cared about him was, the internet's really mean to him. But they weren't legit caring about him. When John Cena was sat on that stage, there was a moment where they could have built something off that. But they didn't. Because they don't, either he doesn't know how to be a good human being. It is hard to root for someone when the only thing you got going for him is the majority of people don't like him. He's been giving everything, and I don't think he can be saved anymore. I'm always Mr. / writer, pretend booker, I booked on the indies, I've been interviewed by fucking companies, blah, 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 blah. I'm always the fantasy booker guy, how can we save this? I can be completely honest with you. I don't think there is saving John Cena. I think John Cena is unsavable. Because when he lost to The Rock, people cared. When he had to join NXT for that short time, which I have no idea why they rushed that storyline. It was the only time he was actually fucking somewhat human. And even, a lot of people are like, what would you say to John Cena? I've met John Cena before. This is what I said. I respect your hard work. I do not like your character. I don't think you're a good wrestler. And the biggest problem about you is you have no human qualities. And people are like, you didn't say that. Dude, people say that shit all the time to John Cena. What do you think's going to happen? Let's be honest. If you go meet John Cena and you give him an honest opinion like that, do you think he's beating the fuck out of you? It's John Cena. All right, so I don't think John Cena can be saved. And the whole thing about the charity work is, I have much mad respect, but there's a guy, a Chinaman once told me this. The second you brag about doing charity, it's not charity, it's PR. And I'm so happy he does the charity work. I'm so happy he does the children. But here's the thing. If you don't think the game is rigged, pop trivia. Who's number 2 at giving? Who's the number 2 WWE guy at charity? Who's the number 3 guy at charity? Think about it. If the game's not rigged, why wouldn't you mention that Mark Henry does charity? Why wouldn't you mention Big Show does charity? The game might be rigged.
Oh, Kane does charity. There was out in East Tennessee. He was feeding the hungry out there. He even sat down for an interview to get it over with. But Dave, we got to keep this thing moving along here. But I think the show also worked because Cena wasn't there. I think Lesnar, just looked almost demonic there with that sneer on his face, and Heyman really got everything over. We got to the next match here. You had the newly crowned Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz in a return match. Now this made sense because the person who lost automatically gets can enact a rematch clause within the next 30 days. So it made sense to have this. They decided I guess this is a sign they're going to continue the feud, Dave, because I thought maybe Dolph Ziggler was going to beat The Miz, and then they was just going to kind of go off on his own Intercontinental title run. Well, apparently they've decided to keep this feud going because during this match he sold a knee injury and wound up getting counted out, which I think was kind of lame because the referee should. I'm just saying, kayfabe wise, should have stopped his count when Ziggler got back on the apron and Miz impeded his progress to get back in the ring. I know I'm looking way too much into it, but they did the count out. Okay, so I guess Miz got one over, so I guess there'll be another return match. He went back in there, gave the Miz a zigzag, hobbled out of the ring. Overall, I think it was a good match. Not as good as their match last night, but there was some drama, particularly with the knee injury and Miz using the figure four to his advantage. I just think the count out was a little bit of a cop out, and I'm thinking that, it's just kind of like they just, wow, here's this guy who went from obscurity, he was constantly jobbing, maybe win one or two matches here and there, particularly on SmackDown or main event. Then he started slowly progressing, and boom, just out of nowhere, started getting some momentum. We made him the Kocosports.com internet champion. He's still the champion, by the way. He lost by countout, so that does not constitute a title change. And he's building up. Boom, they give him the Intercontinental title after the Miz had only had a month reign as champion, which is short by WWE standards. And it is just like they took it and they just took a dump all over the title reign. It's like the Authority should have laid the Intercontinental title out in the middle of the ring. Stephanie and Hunter should have yanked down their pants and just took a big dump on the title, because that's what I felt like they did. I was like, come on, I'm not saying he had to win, but you just got to have something better than this count out, oh my knee hurts bullshit. So I kind of like the match. I like the drama with it, but I just think it just, what's the word I'm looking for, Dave? I just think it could have been better.
Yeah, I enjoy this feud. I'm glad they showed Ric Flair. I'd like to see which one Ric Flair goes to, because I think WWE wants this, from what we've read online. WWE wants Ric Flair to go with The Miz, the fans, and Ric Flair want to go with Dolph Ziggler. So I think this feud, adding Ric Flair, adds something to it. And I wasn't that mad about the finish. I thought it was a pretty good show, and I also enjoyed it. And the feud continues on. It's two guys that I like. I know a lot of people don't like The Miz. I'm pretty sure everyone likes Dolph Ziggler. I don't think I've met anyone that doesn't like Dolph Ziggler. And I enjoy this feud and like to see where it's going. So, I thought it was pretty decent. Plus, adding the Ric Flair element, because so many people are wondering who's he going to go with, and the fact that they're feuding. And who knows? Now that, the Nation is gone, they dropped that, maybe the original Angerman faction that people were talking about after WrestleMania could start up. But I don't know, because what does Dolph have to be angry about now? He's Intercontinental Champion, kind of on a roll. So it's kind of interesting. Plus, Miz has a thing. I don't know. I think they missed opportunity on it. So okay. I enjoyed it. Wasn't perfect.
Okay. Next here we had Jack Swagger versus Cesaro, and to be honest, I did not like this match until the very end, because you had Jack Swagger obviously reeling from that loss against Rusev. He gives this big speech that, he was disappointed. He got, he let down America, and but he's like, but I'm going to be a real American, and I'm going to do what we always do when our backs up against the wall. We pull ourselves up and we just keep moving forward. It's like, okay, and then they put him in the ring with Cesaro, and I was like, okay, but he did have an out. He was selling the injuries he sustained in the match against Rusev the night before, particularly the rib injuries, which you could argue that Jack Swagger wasn't 100%. You had Cesaro absolutely hungry for a win. The two former Real Americans going one-on-one with each other. Swagger started making a comeback, but the injury just really hindered him. Cesaro had to cheat, jabbed Swagger in the eye with his thumb, hit the neutralizer, got the win. And then after that, Bo Dallas came out and said that, you let down 318. You let down 318 million Americans last night. And look at you, you're losing again. But don't worry, you lost your dignity, you lost your self-respect, you lost your manager, but you can get it all back if you believe. And automatically I saw what was happening here. They got Cesaro a win, which is something he desperately needed. Tainted as it may be, he needed a win. People have been complaining about Cesaro being on a losing streak. I think he'd been like a three-week losing streak. So he definitely needed to pick up a win. Jack Swagger, it's just like, okay, he's reeling off this massive loss. It was an embarrassing loss for him last night at SummerSlam. This right here with Dallas coming out, it gives Dallas something new. It made sense, Here's this guy down and out, and Bo Dallas wants to go out and be the motivational speaker. He wants to go help him out, and he's, doing it very heelish. He's insulting the hell out of him. So this is going to change Swagger's focus from Rusev over to Bo Dallas and have it make complete total sense, because it's going to be, who the hell do you think you are? Look at me. I'm a former world heavyweight champion. Look what have you done? And then just, how dare you? And they can get to a little program there with each other. And it makes sense, and it shifts his logic away. It shifts everything away from Rusev onto Bo Dallas. He can move forward with something new. It gives Bo Dallas something new to do. Rusev is free to go do something else. And so you kind of switched the storyline here, and I think you accomplished a lot of things just in this one match. I just don't know if anybody else saw that. Now, Dave, am I reading too much into it, or did you see that too?
No, you had a home run with that description. I'm just going to add some little details to it. I pretty much agree with what you say, but when I always see Cesaro and Swagger go one-on-one, I'm always kind of mad because I'm like, this should be a big pay-per-view money-making thing with the split up of the Real Americans. I always thought that they should have feuded a lot on a lot higher level. And I'm glad Cesaro got a win, no matter how cheap it is. And yeah, I popped. There's three moments I popped, and this is the most I've popped for Raw. There was a lot of bad stuff, but there was a lot of good ones. The charity line with the bucket, I really enjoyed, and Bo Dallas coming back. Because, you read online that they're giving up on him, and then you see him go out there, and, I was like, yes! Thank you! I know Bo Dallas isn't popular with everyone, but to me, I just find him to be so entertaining. I love Bo Dallas's character. Obviously, in-ring-wise, I would say average, to be nice. But just character-wise, I enjoy the character a lot. So I was really happy just to see him. And a Swagger, Bo Dallas feud, to me, would be amazing. So, there you go.
All right. Next here, I'm gonna admit I kind of tuned out for this match. I had to get some stuff done here around the house. But it was the 6-man tag match. It was Roman Reigns teaming up with Sheamus and Rob Van Dam versus Randy Orton and Ryback. I should mention that they were in Las Vegas, which is Ryback's hometown, so he got a huge pop that night. So congratulations to him. I thought it was a pretty good match. I admit I only caught like the last 5 minutes of it because I had to take care of some stuff here around the house. But it was I think Ryback benefited because it's like, whoa, okay, people know he still exists and they're still popping for him. Randy Orton trying to get some heat back. Of course, you had Roman Reigns again back in there in the mix, trying out some new things. Hit the spear. Rob Van Dam got the win on there, and I think he's actually going to be done with the company for. According with his agreement, he works for 90 days. He's off for 90 days. He works for 90 days. He's off for 90 days. So I think this is the end of I think today actually marked the end of a 90-day period. So I believe after tonight he's going to be done for the next 90 days. So we should be seeing him sometime around Survivor Series. So Dave, I don't know if you watched a little bit more. I kind of like what I saw. But did you share the same sentiment if you watched the whole match from start to finish?
Ryback isn't one of my favorite wrestlers, I can tell you that. But the thing about Ryback is that I think he has so much potential. I mean, they might as well just call him dropped potential. I do not like Ryback as a person. I do not like Ryback as a wrestler. But I cannot lie. There's potential to make money there. And there's been plenty of times where Ryback got over and they just forced him into something else. I kind of wonder if Ryback is maybe too nice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like he doesn't say no because he's too young of a guy, but ruining his career. Because, like, if he went against CM Punk and be like, nah, I don't really want that match, his career would be on a way better path. If he said, oh, well, let's not make you a Paul Heyman guy, he'd be like, no, I want to be a Paul Heyman guy. I think his career would be on a better path. It seems like creative really owes this guy an apology. They definitely owe him some fruitcake and fruit baskets. I mean, they ruined this guy's career and just dropped potential is the only thing I can think of when I see Ryback. I'm glad you said you didn't really pay attention to this. I think this is the problem with six-man tags. I think that they literally just throw them together to get people on television like Rob Van Dam, Randy Orton, and it makes no sense at all. I saw a comment where people were bashing TNA. And TNA, you know, they have their problems. But one thing that TNA...
I'm sorry, I got to correct myself on something. I just now remembered. They promoted Rob Van Dam versus Randy Orton on SmackDown, so it's probably going to be after Friday. So I just wanted to correct that mistake. I apologize. Go ahead, Dave.
But the six-man tag usually are completely worthless, and this six-man tag was completely worthless. And I know a lot of people hate TNA that like WWE, and I don't see it. I see them as the same exact fucking product, to be honest. But one thing that they did on Impact is they had a six-man tag match that mattered. It made sense. Why the three men were battling the other three men. It made sense. This didn't make sense. It was literally like, we need to get Randy Orton, RVD, and other people on television. Throw them all together. Send them out. Send out the clowns. I just think WWE, especially on the house show circuit, and, you know, I love New Japan. I love New Japan more than anything in the world. Maybe Dragon Gate. But New Japan also does this. They'll just throw a six-man tag. They're like, well, we got them on the card. Send them out there. The only people that do six-man tag right, there's last week TNA did it right, and Dragon Gate does it right. I think a lot of people just throw six-man tag out there for no fucking reason whatsoever, and I think that's what this match was. And as far as RVD, I'm gonna put on my. Can I put on my negative conspiracy cap? I'm thinking.
In other words, your cap.
Yeah. There's my negative conspiracy cap on RVD. No facts whatsoever. Is it a 6? Is it a 9? Who knows? I think the 90 days thing is so that he can avoid the drug tests. I think there's probably something in his contract, 90 days on, 90 days off, so that he doesn't have to take the marijuana test. I could be completely wrong about that, but that's my negative conspiracy detective skills at work. I'm like Batman if Batman was just a dick with no money. Anyway, all right. Six-man tag match happened. What's next?
Next, we had a tag team match. You had the champions, the Usos, versus Goldust and Stardust in a non-title match. To me, this match was just completely forgettable. It was just in this low point where I just about completely had tuned out. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I like both these teams, but first of all, I'll say it's great to see the Rhodes Brothers wrestling someone else who isn't Ryback. So that was a plus right there. It was good to see the Usos back. I want to see them back in competition. They've had an okay title run here. What can I say? I mean, it was just kind of like your standard tag match. That it just ended weird. Just with that weird pinning combination. It was like, okay, we're about 6 minutes in this match. Okay, let's just wrap it up. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you've lost. Usos, Rhodes Brothers, you win. Maybe you're going to be the cosmic key you keep searching for is maybe the tag team title shot. So there's not much I could say about it other than, yeah, it happened. I should have liked it, but the match just was not great.
I'm going to write an open letter. Dear WWE Creative, we wanted this match. We wanted to care. We wanted this on SummerSlam. You fucked up the tag team division and fucked up everything. Love, angry internet nerd. P.S. Fuck John Cena. Dun, 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 dun. Send that to WWE.
It would not surprise me if somebody on the internet infantry was actually writing this shit down and like mailing shit Titan Towers.
This really should have been a SummerSlam match. We should have cared. It's almost like it felt like a tag team funeral. Like, oh, this didn't happen last night. Oh, there was no tag teams. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like, I describe it best as WWE booking sometimes reminds me of this. It's like wanting to date someone so bad in high school, then you become a success, meet her 20 years later, and she's not attractive and she wants to go out with you. It's like, bitch, please! I wanted you to suck my dick in high school. Stop talking to me, fatty McFatty. I'm making the big bucks talking on YouTubes. Okay, none of that's reality, but that's what it feels like.
Well, been there, done that. Sadly. Next year, I should mention that they had Rusev come out, and they were basically bragging about their win over Jack Swagger at SummerSlam. He was out there for their moment. They were talking about how they dedicated the match to Vladimir Putin, but then out came Mark Henry, and then he walked in, and of course, obviously, he was touting his time as an Olympian twice, representing the United States. And then got up in Rusev's face, and then when Rusev went for the sucker punch, it led to an all-out brawl, and he wound up picking up and giving Rusev the world's strongest slam. And I'm like, wow, I kind of like the idea of this feud. It makes sense because okay, there's Rusev and Lana, they're obviously pro-Russian, and then you have Mark Henry, who's been who's just now coming back, and it's like, wow, he doesn't have to be relegated to the tag team division. He can do something else on his own. And why would Mark Henry come? Oh, because he's a former Olympian, and he states that. I've been an Olympian twice. I've represented this country. I'm proud of this country, and I hate it that you raised your flag in my country. And it's like, okay, a little cheesy, but it works. It makes sense, and it starts a new feud that makes sense. It gets, like I said, like Swagger, now he can turn his attention to Bo Dallas. It makes sense. He can do a little detour. He needs to rebound from that loss. And now you've got Mark Henry coming out of nowhere, and boom, have this. I like this idea. I think this will be. I don't think it'll be on Night of Champions because I think it's only title matches for that pay-per-view. But I like where this is going. I mean, do you like WWE storytelling on this one? Or do you think it's too hokey, too soon? What do you think, Dave?
Well, I do think it's hokey, but people love it, so go with it. With that said, Rusev is the best heel in the business today. Rusev should be the highest paid wrestler in WWE, without a doubt. If life was fair, Rusev would be the highest paid wrestler in WWE. Is the storyline hokey? Yes, but people are buying into it, so fucking roll with it. Rusev right now can wrestle anyone not named John Cena and put him over. Think about it. Swagger was a nobody. Holy shit, he's over. Mark Henry was pointing in 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. Mark Henry is acting like a good guy to nobody. He's like, hey, I'm a good guy. Someone like me. Come on, I'm Mark Henry. Someone like me. And then this week, he's legit. Rusev is the best heel in the business, and if life was fair, he'd be the highest paid wrestler in WWE right now.
Wow, that's a bold statement, but I like how you laid out your argument there. I really do. He got off to a little bit of a rough start, but now I think he's finally, starting to find his groove as the heel. And it's not just Lana. You got Lana as the instigator, and then you have Rusev as the muscle. I think they're shaping up to be a pretty good team, and everything makes sense. So yeah, I kind of like how you laid out that argument. That's really great. I enjoyed it. So. Props to WWE. I kind of want to see where this is going here. Now, Dave, are you ready to tackle the main event?
Sure. Are we going to do some? You want to do some comments first, or you want to do main event then some comments?
Let's do the main event because a lot of the comments go specifically talk about the main event here, and I'm paraphrasing here because multiple people down here in the comments are basically saying, hey, this Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins reminded me a lot of the Attitude Era. Do you think they're getting a little lax? Do you think they're trying to sneak back in the Attitude Era? Do you think they're teasing the Attitude Era? It was a lot of questions along those routes. And watching that Falls Count Anywhere match, Dave, do you agree or disagree? Do you think you kind of see shades of the Attitude Era?
Yes and no. I think, this is my personal opinion, they're trying to push the envelope as far as they can towards the Attitude Era without losing their PG standing, without losing sponsorships. So I think they're like, how close can we get to the Attitude Era without going too far? They're like, well, can we say bitch? Well, maybe. Let's test it out. I honestly think it's one of those things where you're pushing the envelope. And as long as they're trying to push the envelope, even if there is an edge, as long as they're trying to push the envelope, it will always be close to the Attitude Era. So I think it's a good thing, and I think you have to try to win people over. I think Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins is nothing but money this whole show. I think it saved the show. I thought it was great. But as far as the Attitude Era coming back, I think a lot of stuff has to go wrong for the Attitude Era.
Dave, I don't think we've seen this in a couple of months, but when's the last time we've actually had a main event that was not a contract signing? Yeah, I know that people wanted to watch, that people started chanting, "This is awesome." I mean, they were just, everybody was on their edge of their seat. They were soaking it up. I mean, there was chairs, kendo sticks, tables, and then the fucking ending, which made complete and total perfect sense. At least in my world, it made complete, total, perfect sense. So, and I think this was a brilliant storytelling by WWE. Yeah, it went a little hokey, but for those of you who may have missed it, I'm trying not to spoil it, but chances are, if you're watching the show, you've either seen Raw or you're watching this because you want to find out if it's worth it to go back and watch Raw. But of course, they gave Dean Ambrose the out. I mean, this was the match of the night, the main event match of the night. Very rarely on Raw have I said that, but this was the match of the night. These two put on a good match. The crowd was eating it up. Of course, Kane gets involved. They gave Dean Ambrose the out. It looked like he superplexed Rollins through the table, gave him dirty deeds. I mean, it was just, he put him through hell. And just as you thought he was about to get the win, no, Kane interferes. And then, of course, now Ambrose has to deal with Kane and Rollins, and he's giving him hell. And then finally, no, Kane interferes, and he gives him a choke slam on the announce table. It doesn't break. And I'm thinking, okay, that was a mistake. They're going to have to do it again. No, they brought in over Rollins, and I don't know if this was planned or not, but he gave him the curb stomp on the announce table. Doesn't break. And I'm thinking, okay, well, they're going to have to do it again. Somebody didn't pull something somewhere. There's still a latch hook that's not causing this table to break. And then Kane picks up this, platform and to reveal some cinder blocks there, and Kane pushes Ambrose's head down on it. Rollins does the curb stomp, and all hokiness. I mean, it shattered some of the cinder blocks below. I mean, obviously that wouldn't happen, but let's just roll with it. And the referee stops the match. And EMTs come out with a stretcher, the neck brace, and this is the reason why I say this is perfect storytelling. Is one, it's like you're pissed off because you want Ambrose to get that fucking win. I mean, he's come this close 2 times now. He just can't quite get that win. No matter how close he gets, Kane interferes, and Rollins always just ekes one out. And now with this injury, this is great because, one, it writes Ambrose off television because he needs to go shoot that WWE movie where it's going to be an action movie. He's going to star in it, so that's going to be cool. 2, it gets Ambrose off Rollins' back, and when that happens, now Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank is an actual threat now because where's Dean Ambrose? We don't know. He's out of action. He's hurt, so there's nobody there to cut Rollins' legs out from under him. He's got the Money in the Bank contract. Nobody there to interfere, so he can cash it anytime he wants. And then I think that adds a nice element to everything. So I will give props to WWE, and I will say this. Authority, go back and watch that match. Listen to the crowd. Do more of that. Do more of that, and I guarantee you have less people changing channels. Awesome main event. Way to go, guys.
Yeah, I agree with everything you say. As far as the Attitude Era, like I said, they're trying to push the envelope without jumping off the cliff. I think if the only way Attitude Era comes back is WWE. The one thing I thought was cheesy was the voting. They were like, do you want do you want Dean Ambrose to wear red socks, purple socks, or green socks? Like, I thought the three options were exactly the same thing. I just thought it was completely ridiculous. So
You know,
the online voting.
if that's the case, how much you want to bet it was legit? Because if you've got a no holds barred, a street fight, and a falls count anywhere, which is essentially the absolutely like the same match. I mean, you can't lose either way around. How much you want to bet the voting was actually legit? Because it didn't matter. It was pretty much the same match either way around.
Yeah. And a lot of people complained about Kane messing this up. And I don't know, maybe WWE has worn on me, but I kind of like, oh, well, it's WWE. Of course they're going to have an aspect of messing up the match. You know what I mean? Like, it almost goes hand in hand. So the Kane thing was a bit stupid, but, you know, I think if it keeps Dean a little bit strong. And you brought up a great statement. The main event is the first time it's been the best match in a while. That's not just Raw. That's in America in general. Even to some of the best indies, you're like, well, the third match, the match going to intermission. And I know Ring of Honor, well, now Dragon Gate's Gabe says, well, in a sporting event, you don't know when the best match is going to be. And that's what Book It Gabe says, Gabe Sapolsky. And that's a good point. But the thing is, I think there should be pressure on the main event to be good. I don't think SummerSlam, I don't think the main event was the best match unless you absolutely hate John Cena. I don't think the main event has been that. I think you should put more pressure on the main event. When I was working the indies, I remember I gave everyone strict times, everyone this, and I studied because we did Combat TV. 24 hours, 7 days a week streaming television. 20-plus years before, I don't know if it's that long, but 10-plus years before WWE's network. Yeah, they're the first one to come up with streaming television. But I used to pay attention to what people would watch on Combat TV. I'd pay attention to how the fans reacted. And the main event, I would be like, listen, this is what we want to happen. It would be like the shortest description ever. I'm like, dude, the pressure's on you. You can do whatever you want. But if it sucks, you're not going to be in the main event anymore. I just wish there was pressure to be in the main event. I don't think I think in Japan Pro Wrestling, there's tremendous pressure. If you fuck up a main event, you get bumped down to mid-card pretty fucking quick. But in America, it just seems like, oh, well, the main event, we got it. It's okay. Like, I think if you're in the main event on Raw, SummerSlam, whatever, Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, you should have pressure to be the best match. There should be pressure. And I don't think there is pressure. I very often do we say the main event is the best match of the night. So that. And I said this at SummerSlam. I'm just going to repeat it again just in case we have new listeners. I think, Roman Reigns is the next John Cena. I think Ambrose is the next Stone Cold. And what I mean by that is I think Ambrose is going to be the anti-hero and Rock's cousin is going to be the John Cena Golden Boy. And if Ambrose is gone, it looks that way because there's a movie, Cinder Blocks. It looks like he's gone. And there's a lot of funny memes online about Seth Rollins just being scared. It's like Money in the Bank versus Brock Lesnar. Nah, I'm good. I'll wait. Now, granted, there's spoilers out there not spoilers, but really strong predictions, what might happen, and I'll try not to give those away. But I just think if you have Money in the Bank and Brock Lesnar's the champ, you're like, I'm just going to wait this thing out. I'm going to see where this goes. Because remember last year's SummerSlam, Randy Orton came down and ruined Daniel Bryan in the pay-per-view. This year, Seth Rollins is like, fuck that shit. I'm not even going up on stage. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think that if Dean Ambrose is gone, like Boom Boom said, it might be the case. I just think it's bad timing because he ain't going to. Who the fuck's going to turn in the briefcase against Brock Lesnar? Not going to happen. All right. Booms. Let's go. Let's go with some of the top comments, plug some of our friends, and wrap this bad boy up.
All right, let's wrap it up. I'll tell you what. You start looking. You know what? Some people need 3, but I need 5. Give me 5 good questions or comments. So start picking away. In the meantime, I'll start. For those of you, let me kind of give you a recap here. Monday Night Raw from Vegas. If you're a hardcore fan, obviously you need to check it out. But if you T-voted or you're checking it out on Hulu, Let's see. You need to check out the opening tag match between Mark Henry and Big Show versus the Wyatts. That's definitely worth watching. You can skip the Divas match. The Brock Lesnar coronation with the Heyman speech is definitely worth a watch. The Intercontinental title, if you're a huge fan of Ziggler, I would say check it out. Jack Swagger versus Cesaro, it's worth a watch if you like Cesaro, and plus it takes the whole feud in a different direction. So it's either a hit or miss, but like I said, if you're a huge fan of Cesaro, maybe even Bo Dallas, it's worth a watch, and it's not very long. You can probably skip the six-man tag match. Definitely skip the tag match between the Usos and the Rhodes brothers. If you only watch one match, you have to watch Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. So, if you've only got enough time to watch one, that's the one you want to watch. The Falls Count Anywhere match. Absolutely amazing. Crowd was into it. So out of this Raw, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, I'd give it a 7. It's I'd probably maybe a 6.5 because I think that tag match did drag it down enough. So 6.5 out of 10. Worth a watch. Fast forward through the commercials. Fast forward through some of the schlock, and you'll be just fine. Now, Dave, did you find me 5?
I don't know if I found you 5, but I'm just gonna throw some out here. Okay, I'm gonna try to get different people. So, all right, Wrestling Ranted says, the fact that Rusev seems to be going through NCAA and Olympic stars, does that hint that at the end of this is the return of Kurt Angle now? What do you guys think? I've been thinking that for a while, but Kurt Angle has been really a pain in the ass negotiating, and I don't know if Triple H... I mean, when you go Triple H, Vince McMahon, JR making almost publicly comments that Kurt Angle's a pain in the ass, I think it's going to happen. I do. I've been thinking it's going to happen for a while, and it makes a lot of sense. And if I was TNA's in a tight spot, because I always joke when Kurt Angle's on screen, they're advertising Rusev's next opponent. But at the same time, you have him under contract and he's hurt. Do you not put him out there? But yeah, I think eventually Kurt Angle versus Rusev will happen. I just don't think it's a lock just yet. But it looks that way. Booms, you want to add anything to that?
Yes. Kurt Angle, I believe his contract with TNA is up around September, if I remember correctly, so that's coming up very shortly. He's been begging to come back, but I honestly don't think it's going to happen. Yes, I agree with Dave. It makes absolutely 100%. It makes perfect sense to do it. It makes absolute perfect sense to do it. But my concern is I don't think Kurt Angle can pass the WWE physical. I don't think he can get medically cleared. I mean, the injuries that he's had over his career, I'm just worried one botched move and, then he's not walking again ever. So yes, I would be a fan of him coming back, maybe taking a place in the Hall of Fame, sign Legends contract. Maybe he could be in the next season of Legends House if they do that. But as far as actually entering again, from a personal, just him as a human being, no. I want him to stay out of a WWE ring because I'd actually like to see him walk 20 years from now.
Martin Tolentino, I hope I didn't slaughter that too much. I think the Rhodes match was bad on purpose so they can have a good one for the belts. That's a possibility, but...
Yeah, and they got to win. I think it puts them in the title hunt. Maybe they're going to turn the Usos heel, try to do something different. That's definitely a possibility.
Wrestling Ranted, make sure to go check out his show. He does a great job, so Internet Infantry, show him some love. Anyone else confused by the WWE tag team scene? I just think they forgot about it, to be honest, Wrestling Ranting. Fire Angel says, I missed most of the matches because I had to chase my dog around, but she says she's a huge Ambrose fan. Stace X02 is back. Welcome back, buddy. Glad you're back. Mr. Biggs, a.k.a. Big Daddy. Bo Dallas looks like a worm. LOL. What? Mr. Biggs, a.k.a. the bad guy? Oh, why did I say Big Daddy? The bad guy? I've got kick-ass. Bo Dallas looks like a worm? You heard me. You heard me a lot. Modern Warrior 24 says Paul Heyman. Also, I think gave a hint about Cena becoming a Paul Heyman guy in his promo. What do you guys think, good or bad? I don't think he hinted that. I think they're
No,
just trying to save John Cena. I don't think that's the case. Mr. Big says TNA is garbage. The only cool thing about it is that Bobby Lashley's world champion. They've actually been pretty good. I know a lot of people shit on TNA, but in February they were good. They fucked up Lockdown, which I renamed Letdown. And the New York City tour has been pretty good. They just have a problem with giving out spoilers. And I'm not even saying the internet giving out spoilers. TNA gives out their own spoilers. Malik Douglas says win for him. Rihanna Jackson says about the cinder block thing with Ambrose and Rollins tonight. Either they are trying to bring back the Attitude Era, giving the storyline time so that we won't be tired of it before Seth tries to cash in the briefcase at WrestleMania or want to give Ambrose time for his movie. All right, let me see. I'm trying to look for people that we haven't hit up. David Stillwell says, is there such thing as too far for WWE? For normal people see a limit, but I think WWE doesn't think so. There was too many moments when they went too far since WrestleMania. To be honest, tonight was a win. It was one of the rare moments when going too far is a good thing. Well, I don't know. It depends. Like, I think I don't know your age, Mr. Stillwell, but I think it depends on your age. I think this generation of YouTube young people, and me and Boom Boom see ourselves as old, especially for the YouTube generation. Back in the Attitude Era, they pushed the envelope really far. And as far as going too far for WWE recently, yes, there's a too far. I mean, they don't even have blood, and I'm not saying that, oh, you need blood, but that's it. Dark Void GFX says, sorry, guys, I didn't watch Raw tonight. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Modern Warrior 24, calling it. He's calling it. Write it down. Cena will return heel. I just don't see it, Modern Warrior 24. And not that, but I think it's too late. I honestly believe this is the first time in a real long time I believe there is no Cena. I thought throughout his whole career you could save him. I don't think, even if he comes back as heel, I don't think anyone's gonna. I don't know. I want to be wrong for John Cena's sake, but I just don't think there's any saving him. Is that an RVD push? Alex Slossball's been on a roll lately. I doubt it because Boom Boom said his 9 days are up, so he's probably going to be leaving soon. Tiffany Nikki says, I agree what you said about Mark Henry. They could have really made him a great villain with Sheamus feud, but they didn't. And let's see. I'm just looking for new people. Andy Pop says, new game. Where's Boom Boom for only $9.99? Oh, that's when you disappeared. That's pretty good, perhaps. And Flying Hippo. Christ, I hate living on the East Coast and having Raw end at 11. I'm tired as balls, so every night, as always. Love the show, guys. Thank you, Flying Hippo.
Thank you.
And one more from Mr. the King, and then one more from Facebook, and we're wrapping it up. Mr. the King, you got a lot, so I'm just going to pick. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, this one. I think, Mr. the King says, I think it's obvious that a cash-in is coming at Night of the Champions. Dean is gone now. Ha, 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 Rob. All right, so... Rob is crying somewhere. But actually, Rob doesn't watch Raw till the next day. That's why Rob doesn't join us on Monday Night Raw reviews. And then we had one on the Facebooks. Andy Paps, you sneaky bastard, getting extra comments going through Facebook. Win. Main event saved it, in my opinion. And Booms, you go through your picks. I'm going to look at Twitter to make sure that they didn't send us anything. And bam. Reba Sumo. I love this guy. It's Araibira. He always likes and saves her stuff, and he's just the king at doing sumo. He just puts up the bash shows coming up. You got to check him out. Hopefully one day we can work together, but he's like the king of sumo. He's one of my favorite guys, but he shared us on Twitter, so I really appreciate that. All right, bam. We hit all the social medias tonight. With Google Plus, I'm just going to call it right now. Please add me, David Kocosports, on Google Plus, because my friends on Google Plus, they're a bunch of racist assholes that I can't say shit on. Like, you know, YouTube has a bad reputation of just saying fucking shit to see if they could say it. But no, dude, Google Plus is completely out of control because they can kind of send a message privately. Google Plus, you're naughty. Not naughty people. If you could, add me on Google Plus, because my friends on Google Plus, not all of them, 90% of my friends on Google Plus are assholes. There, I said it. Now I'm losing Google Plus friends. Cool people, add me on Google Plus. Booms! I think that's a show, pal. Let's do this shit.
All right, I'm going to tell everybody, as always, to check us out at Kocosports.com. That's KOCOsports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. That includes mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, sumo wrestling. We've got judo, taekwondo, kickboxing. If you can get your nose broke doing it, we got it covered there on the site. Also, be sure to check out our news and gossip section. Alberto Del Rio cut a promo about WWE's racism at the Triple Mania in Mexico the same night as SummerSlam. We've got the video there on our video on demand section. We've also got the breaking coverage here about John War Machine War Machine
Let's call it
being
War
taken
Machine.
being taken into custody. We've got all the information on that. We've got our health and fitness section. Check it out there. It's available 24 hours a day. It's where the world goes to kick ass.
All right. Do you want to do some live comments, or you want to save that for Stump the Idiot?
Save it for Stump the Idiot. We got to do Stump the Idiot soon.
Yeah, we definitely. Next week, Boom Boom will have a special co-host because I'm going to be gone, so Boom Boom is going to be carrying it. I will be doing main event and the rest of the shows this week, but we will be looking for a co-host for Boom Boom, and I'm going to be on vacation. So Booms, next Monday, it's going to be you. No me on Crazy Rants. Are you going to miss me? I'm going to miss you. I'm going to send you a postcard from vacation. Be like,
all right.
Boom Boom. I hope you didn't put it on the wrong channel, you fucking idiot. Love, Dave. Anyway, we will try to do a Stump the Idiot. I know a lot of the loyal Internet Imagery guys are really pissed that we haven't been behind on comments, and that is completely my fault. I know I blame Boom Boom, but no, this one's my fault. I've just been really busy trying to finish a book and been really busy with money-making stuff, and I hate money. I hate the money-making stuff. I wish I could just be busy answering YouTube questions all day. Anyway, so please check out Kocosports.net or Kocosports.com. The guy's been working really hard there, and we're just going to hopefully we'll be your #1 stop. Booms, thank you. And please, thank you, live audience. Thank you, Internet Imagery. Thank you, Terry Funk. Go to Kocosports.com. And with that, I am over. Look at that sexy beast.